So there are two main reasons why people usually, when they say, oh, I'm going to eat healthier, I need to stop eating so much sugar, I'm going to get healthier now, why they usually fail. And I'll go through those with you. And please comment as you go if you have any questions, and maybe I'll see it, maybe not. Sorry if I do. So the first one is, number one, you don't have a clear why. And then number two, you don't have a clear plan. So most people suddenly realize they're unhealthy and they're like, okay, I'm going to hit the gym. And then they just go overboard. And so they're doing too many unrealistic changes and too many unrealistic restrictions. Okay, like that is the recipe for failure. That's just getting in the diet trap. And believe me, I used to be there. And that's why I love teaching about this, is because now I feel free and I haven't felt like I've been in the diet trap for like 10 years. So too many unrealistic changes, that might be like suddenly you go from not working out to working out 2 hours a day. It might be suddenly like you go from eating a ton of junk food to saying, I am going to have no sugar for whatever many days. And sure, sometimes I do that once in a while, but I do it in a way that's not restrictive, that makes me not binge. I used to binge or overeat when I put too many restrictions. So you got to know yourself and watch yourself and do that in a good way. So, and then the other, like, well, as far as the two main reasons is starting out without having a clear why. So ask yourself, why? Are you wanting to lose weight? Do you want to have more energy? Are you doing this because you hate yourself and you hate how you look and you just loathe yourself? Or are you doing this because you care about yourself and your health? I'm going to tell you this, that I, like, from doing this for 4.5 years, you guys, almost 5 now, there's one thing in common with people who really make the life change and keep it off forever, long term, without like having these major yo-yo swings, is they crave knowledge and they become self-learners. And so I'll see people like start researching more on their own and watching the documentaries and trying to figure out what's right and what's wrong. There's a lot of stuff out there about nutrition, and it's hard to figure out what to listen to and not. But it's those people who really invest time in themselves and really care about their health that do well. And that's actually what happened to me. It was what got me out of the diet trap. Because I was like, hey, like, I want to take care of this body vitamin since I only get one. I can't get a replacement. I can't get a refund. And I want to do whatever I can do possible to like avoid cancer. Maybe I'll have cancer one day, but at least I'll have done what I can physically, as much as my ability to avoid it. Because I love when my body works well. There's just too much to do in life that, like, I don't want my choices to make me, like, restrict me so that I am unable to do things. And so that's just exciting to me, is I want to avoid cancer. I want to know how to live as healthy as possible and have the most energy. I want to know ways so that I'm not in constant diet mode, to live a healthy and free life. And I'm doing my best to figure that out now. So have a clear why. And if you really love yourself and you're just trying to take care of your body and you're not doing this in diet mode and you're researching ways how to take care of you, you're learning, you're involved mentally, you are going to kick butt. 2018 is going to be your year of where the complete change turnaround comes in your life. And I had a year like that, you guys. I did have that change, and you can too. You don't have to live in constant worry of gaining weight or worrying that you're not going to be able to lose it. Like, you can be at your healthiest and you can be free. So don't give up on that. So here's where the juice comes from, or here's where the meat is. So this is about having a plan. A lot of people who say they're going to eat healthier, they just say it. Like, how often have you declared a goal without even thinking how you're going to execute it, without thinking what's held you back in the past, without having an accountability system? Guys, if you really want, make a real plan. Like, really put some effort mentally into it, and you will see changes. And this will avoid you saying this over and over and over again the rest of your life. I need to go on a diet. I need to lose the last 10 pounds. I need to lose the 10 pounds. Like, do you want to live life like that? Like, always saying the same goal over again? Or do you want to actually hit that goal and then be able to move on to the next? I'm really passionate about that. I love making goals and hitting them. So here's what to do when you're wanting to make a plan. First of all, this is so critical. You need to know what does work and what doesn't work. Okay? So here's a few things. Here are a few influences in your life that are probably holding you back that you need to address. So ask these questions to yourself as I go through them. First of all, your environment. Is your environment helping you, or not helping you. Okay, so if you're wanting to get off sugar or eat less sugar, for example, are you going to keep sugar in your house? And if you choose to keep sugar in your house, watch yourself. Watch yourself. Do you actually eat that sugar? If you do, then stop following the rules of insanity, or the definition of insanity. You keep doing the same thing over and over again. Hi, Josh. Expecting different results. Like, don't let that happen with your environment. If you're keeping sugar in your house because you think that's the best way to do it, and so that you don't feel deprived or whatever, then watch yourself to see if it actually works for you. It doesn't work for me. I can't keep sugar in the house. We have it here now, but it's not very common, because when we have it, I want to eat it when I'm tired or lazy or hungry. And I found out for me, like, with comparing it to other people who do keep sugar in the house so they don't like overeat it when they do have it, I eat less sugar than them overall. Like, it's just what works super well for me. So the other thing is, know your emotions. Are you eating unhealthy when you're emotional? So ask yourself, like, what am I doing when I'm stressed? Like, identify times where you do eat unhealthy and ask yourself, well, why? Like, is this a stress reaction? Am I doing it when I'm depressed or lonely or bored? And if you are, figure out ways and ideas of things you can do instead of eating to adapt to that emotions. A lot of people these days are not listening to their emotions. They're burying them and continuing forward. And even having a little emotion, you guys, like, even if I'm a little bit stressed inside, that influences me. Like, I might start craving sugar and not knowing why I crave sugar until I ask myself, why am I craving sugar? And I'll think, oh, I feel unsettled inside. What's happening? And I'll rewind time and be like, oh, I got stressed because of this. And if I address that, then my craving goes away. It's really cool. Like, get in touch with your emotions. Start meditating more, or just spending more time just being still, even if it's 30 seconds. It really helps. Okay, the other thing that is really important to know when you're making a plan to eat healthier is, when are you usually not eating healthy? Like, what time of day is it? Who are you with? Is it usually at work in the break room with certain friends? Is it usually at night? Is it, like, as far as the time goes, is it after 10 p.m. when you're alone, when you just want to relax? The other question to ask is, how hungry are you usually when you eat poorly? Like, is it because you're going all day without food or without proper nutrients, and so you're starving to eat something healthy, or just to eat something and then you overeat? And so if it's because you're so hungry that you're overeating or eating the wrong things, then don't let yourself get that hungry. Start taking healthier snacks with you. Ask yourself, am I thirsty? Like, how thirsty am I when I choose, like, unhealthy choices? A lot of times I want chocolate when I'm thirsty, thinking my brain's wanting to get water from the chocolate chips, and I promise you there's a better way to get water than eating chocolate chips. So it's just learning about your body and how you work and how your mind's working that's really going to help you see differences and help you have success. Okay, so that's it, guys. When you're trying to be healthier, figure out what usually is holding you back, and make a plan around that. Okay, and you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to make a perfect plan that's going to definitely succeed. Like, just try something and be willing for it to fail, so that you can collect data and try new experiments, see if that works better for you. That's what I've gone through for the last many years, and I've found out exactly how I work and exactly, like, how to easily maintain my weight. And it's wonderful, and it's totally worth it. Okay, so 1 second, let me check in. Okay, good. Okay, so the other thing, guys, is, okay, so as far as making your plan, I'll tell you this, like, you have to know also how busy you are. Are you, like, do you need super fast, easy, convenient meals? Like, are you that busy? Like, in the morning, do you take off to work? Do you skip breakfast usually? Like, figure out where those gaps are. For me, I suggest for most people when they're trying to start eating healthier is to eat 6 times a day, or about every 2 to 3 hours. For me, I try to eat small, balanced meals, small, healthy, whole foods meals about every 2 to 3 hours. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But that's a good place to start. So bringing healthy grab-and-go foods with you to work is going to be great, so that you don't come home crazy hungry if that's one of your problems. Okay. And also, as far as grocery shopping goes, like, do you know how to grocery shop? Sounds like a dumb question, but can you go to the store and be done within 10 to 15 minutes because you have the same routine every single time? And that's how it is for me. And so I'm not always done that fast, but I just start right at the vegetables and fruit section. Go get the nuts, go get the tubers, go over to grab my almond milk and my frozen fruit and frozen vegetables and any other miscellaneous things that I've done. And so if you don't have like a really solid grocery list of how to supply your house with healthy meals and healthy grab and goes, just send me a message, like leave comments right here and send me a message, and then I'll get that out to you because I've got a really great grocery list. And you can look at how I try to supply my pantry as well. I am more of a plant-based eater. Don't eat very much dairy or meat, and so that will reflect that, but it's easy to add dairy and meat to the list, okay? So your environment, you guys, you're like, you can't, it's really hard to change your habits if you don't change your environment. That's just something that pulls on us every day. And so with making your plan, see what you can change in your environment. See what you're willing to change, and maybe don't make it so extreme. Maybe you can take baby steps. For me, when I was eating too much chocolate, I decided to get 100% dark chocolate. It is just from like a cooking bar in Macy's aisle. Super cheap, but guess what? I still had chocolate in front of me. It still snapped the same, whatever. It tasted crazy bitter, but I got used to it, and it kind of fulfilled that. Take baby steps with changing your environment. Just see how it works. As far as dinners, if you're having a problem with like healthy dinners, first of all, like breakfast and lunches, like ask me for ideas. I always do green smoothies. I always do oatmeal and frozen berries. Like, it's the people who have less options that actually do better, surprisingly. That they kind of eat the same things over and over again because you're in a habit, you're in a routine. And so with dinners, like, look up fast and easy meals. I can give you some. You can just ask me for some. Pinterest will have a ton. And guess what? It's really, really important that you start saving. Like, keep a list somewhere of the dinners that you all love. Like, they're called five-star recipes. My friend and I have a site called Meal Plan and Share that should be out soon. But it helps you find recipes that you love. So you're in a crunch, you don't know what to make, you look at your list of things that you for sure love, your whole family, that are 5 stars, you can whip those out fast. And since you know how to make them because you've done them so many times, like, you'll feel confident and be able to whip it out very, very quickly. So keep track of the things that you love and get good at it and get fast at it. And then other strategies as far as like making healthier dinners more like reliably and consistently is like make big batches. Figuring out what time of day to cook is actually really important. And so if you keep on saving making dinner to the end of the day and you keep on just being so stressed or not having time, so you go to fast foods, then guess what? Like, take a hint. Be a researcher. Like, that's not working for you. So try something new. You might want to cook breakfast in the morning or cook dinner in the morning. And that's actually what I often do. I like to be done by 10 a.m. And it's just so nice to have dinner all done. And if you're worried about, well, it's going to be cold, there are actually really cool options I can tell you about to keep them nice and warm for dinner. Okay, so those are some things, is strategizing, having good like staples in the fridge at all times for those dinners, times that you just don't have time to cook very well. But you really got to watch yourself and your cooking habits. Like, I would probably write down what you end up having and evaluate every week if you're serious about wanting to eat healthier, so that you can say, that day, like, consistently, we're eating pizza on these days, so what can I do? And you guys, I've worked with a lot of very, very, very busy mamas, and they find ways. They're experimenters, and they figure out what's working, what's not, and they adjust to it. And so I've seen like awesome stuff. Like, one mom, she would cook like right after dinner or something for the next day before they cleaned everything up, so she didn't have to clean twice. Like, big ideas like that. Okay. Water. Are you getting your water? Do you have a plan to drink more water? That curbs cravings. Emotional plan. If you are having emotional reactions, do you have a plan of how to address your emotions instead of stuff them deep inside of you, so they cannot like a volcano a day? So think about that. You can research that. You can talk to me about it, whatever. I've done a lot of emotional work for myself. Social plan. Like, are you eating when you're around people? Like, is that when you usually go off plan and eat terribly? So make an idea of what to do when you are around friends or in a social gathering. You can have accountability partners. You can try telling them your goals before you come. You can learn things to say politely when you're there so you don't offend people. There are really good phrases that you can use. And then the other one is like having on-the-go snacks. I personally have my 100% wonderful go-to snacks that are perfectly balanced with protein and carbs. They're bars, they're shakes, or whatever that I can take with me. And so that the times that I don't have a chance to make whole foods, I can have those. They keep me consistent. They keep me not starving and going to fast foods or whatever. So I can tell you what those are or where to get those or whatever. But they are my lifesavers, is having convenient food because life is busy. So anyways, I've probably talked your ear off. If you made it this far, then good job. You're awesome, and you're probably going to succeed if you're this determined. Just kidding. But the biggest thing is know how you work. Find out how you work. Find out how habits work. Start reading. Start researching. Ask for help. You can get a coach. You can ask me or whatever. You can do things on your own. But like keep track of what's working and what's not. 2 books that I would suggest are The Power of Habit and Change Anything. Those are 2 books that really influenced me, that helps me change my habits. Okay, so just going over my notes. Keep asking the question why a lot. Keep a journal. No, and please know this, you guys, like, have hope that you can get healthier and you can be at your best health. Always, pretty much always. I don't care if I end up gaining weight. I'm not afraid if I'll gain weight one day. Weight doesn't matter. Like, the number on the scale doesn't matter. I have a program that I know works. It's bulletproof. Like, if I gain weight, I'll be able to tap into my weight loss program and I'll be totally fine. And I'm really happy about that. If you want to know about that, we can talk about it. But the number on the scale doesn't matter to me anyways, because it's how I feel. And at the end of the day, do I feel attractive? Do I feel confident or whatever? And I can see that visually. And so don't get too obsessed with the weight. Like, one challenge is to lose weight without the scale. And that's how I lost my weight. I actually could only weigh myself every 6 weeks. I was in the Philippines. And so I tended to be more careful than figuring out what I could get away with. If you're looking at the scale constantly, then you're always wondering what you can get away with. And that's not the point of health. It really isn't. If you're in that trap, then you're going to have to make a change if you're going to want lasting changes. And running, like, you cannot run your spoon, your fork. Also, like, if you're relying on exercise to be healthier, you're always going to have an excuse and a justification. Oh, I exercised an hour. I deserve that brownie. And so, like, for me, like, health and weight maintenance and just feeling energetic, it's all in the food. It's awesome. I'm grateful that I don't worry about that. I feel free. I feel free from restriction and diet mode, from deprivation or whatever. There's ways to do it. You can figure it out by learning about how you work and knowing that you can get there. So don't give up on your goals. If you've got New Year's goals, feel free to share them. The more you share, the more likely you are to hold yourself accountable. Works for me. And please also reach out to me if you have questions. We can chat on the phone. There's no any pressure to, like, sign up or buy anything. Like, I'm here to help you. I always have resources that I can send you that could hopefully help you. So just know I'm cheering for you, and I know you can do it. And yeah, hope you had a Merry Christmas. And I'll see you later.